Tonight on CTV News at 11:30. This suspect wanted in connection to the murder of a man at a homeless encampment in Sudbury has been arrested. Plus, an organization is celebrating 75 years of promoting the Franco-Ontarian community.
Campbell francophone was always there, putting their heads together.
And the group is marking the occasion with a big exhibition. And a groundbreaking that is just the beginning for one community.
This represents confidence in our community, so that's what we've been working towards.
We'll have more on the investments happening in Black River Matheson.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Tony Rima with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. The man wanted in connection to a fatal fire at a homeless encampment in Sudbury has been arrested. Brandon Gramling McEwen was located around 9:30 last night at a home on Bruce Avenue. He's facing charges of first-degree murder and arson regarding the death of a 41-year-old man at Energy Court near the city's downtown. The victim again in the fire has been identified as a 41-year-old man from Sudbury. One person was killed this morning in a two-vehicle collision in Little Current. Provincial police say the crash involved a motorcycle and a vehicle pulling a trailer near Whites Point Road. A 72-year-old man from Thunder Bay was taken to hospital where he died of his injuries. On the North Shore, this was the aftermath following a school bus collision involving a transport on Highway 17 in Spanish. Police say 26 students were on board at the time of the crash just after 8 this morning. According to investigators, the bus was stopped with its lights activated and stop arm out when it was rear-ended by the transport. Thankfully, no one was injured. A 27-year-old from Winnipeg is facing several charges. North Bay police have recovered several stolen firearms as part of an investigation into a break-and-enter last fall. It started in October after police learned legally owned firearms were stolen from a home on Whitfield Station Road. Investigators eventually recovered the stolen firearms along with other stolen property plus restricted firearms from a home on the same street. 3 people are now facing charges. A police funeral service for OPP Constable Tarun Bali will be held tomorrow morning, and we're learning now there will be some public access. Ontario Provincial Police say it will take place at 10:30 at the Mississauga Sports and Entertainment Centre. We're told there will be media access at the event as well as to broadcast during the service. People can also tune in by going to the OPP YouTube channel. The 29-year-old died in the line of duty in the community of Hearst last week. New tonight, Sudbury's hospital delivered its annual general meeting with officials discussing its successes and challenges over the past year. Healthcare leaders highlighted growth, noting that the region is entering a new period of economic momentum tied to the mining boom. CEO David McNeil says the emergency department is now averaging 200 patients a day, and healthcare staff are seeing patients with increasing complex needs. Additionally, the hospital says it has added 40 new physicians, including 17 in family medicine. And while overall staff retention has improved by 9%, McNeil says critical gaps remain.
Medical radiation therapists to do the cancer treatment. It's a hard to recruit professional group for which we are starting to see across the system some significant shortages. Not big numbers of individuals, but really critical individuals. So those are things that we're working with our education providers and Cancer Care Ontario to make sure across the system they're there. The other types of groups, respiratory therapists. We've started to see some stabilization.
McNeil adds the hospital's simulation lab ramped up operating hours, logging 15,000 hours of training and doubling its runs over the past year. A Sudbury organization is celebrating 75 years of championing the Franco-Ontarian community, and they're kicking off the milestone with a brand new art exhibition. As part of Carrefour Francophone's landmark anniversary, Place des Arts is featuring numerous art installations made primarily from recycled materials, bridging different eras of Sudbury's cultural past. The kickoff included a collaborative performance by a youth choir and the Sudbury Symphony Orchestra. The organization was founded in 1950, originally as the Centre des Jeunes de Sudbury, and has spent the last 3/4 of a century supporting the region.
The struggles that Franco-Ontarian have gone through in 75 years, they were always there. Le Carrefour francophone was always there, putting their heads together. How do we face this? How do we overcome this? What is the next best step for basically Francophone from Sudbury.
It really talks about how proud people are to be Francophone in Sudbury. As well, you know, we have a lot of newcomers choosing Sudbury directly, where in the past it was Montreal and maybe come to Sudbury afterwards, but choosing Sudbury because of the Francophone community.
More events are planned later this year to celebrate the 75th anniversary, including a special concert. 3 young Canadians, including Sudbury's Sophia Mather, are taking the federal government to court. The group, which includes health and environmental organizations, is arguing that Canada no longer has a credible plan to meet its legally binding 2030 climate target. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
Sophia Mather is no stranger to raising her voice when it comes to climate concerns.
I thought it was something that was being resolved until one time when the next year when I was 7, I wanted to go see what my mother was doing. And I realized that she was going to politicians' offices and asking them to protect my future. And that's when the reality of the climate crisis hit me, that our governments weren't doing enough.
Now she's joining 2 other youth, the Canadian Association of Physicians for the Environment and Environmental Defence, in taking the federal government to court.
The federal government over the past year has been rolling back its key measures in its climate plan. And that climate plan is required by law under the Canadian Net Zero Emissions Accountability Act.
Had, who works for Eco Justice representing the clients, says the group alleges that the rollbacks have created legal violations, and they are asking the court to order the government to revise the plan.
We're hoping to get before the court and have this heard on the merits by the end of this year or early next year.
CTV News reached out to the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Nature and received a statement which says, "We are aware of the recent court challenge. The Government of Canada is committed to fighting climate change and reaching net zero emissions by 2050. We will continue working to build a clean, low carbon and resilient country. As this matter is before the courts, we cannot comment further."
When I was 13, I joined Eco Justice's case against the Ontario government. And now at 19, I'm joining the new case against the federal government. The Ontario case that I'm involved in is a charter case.
After the Ford government eliminated the climate accountability legislation last fall, Eco Justice made a motion to the Ontario Court of Appeal to essentially reopen the appeal and are currently waiting to hear a decision. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
New investments are helping spark big expectations in the township of Black River Matheson in the Timmins area. Today, community leaders broke ground on a new motel project this afternoon. CTV's Lydia Chubak has more tonight from Matheson.
For the first time in years, Black River Matheson is getting a new motel. It's a project many here see as a sign of growth and renewed confidence in the community. A groundbreaking ceremony at the site of the former municipal building is the talk of the town.
This town is going to start booming, which it needs. Everybody calls it a retirement town. And a lot of the young people have left because there was nothing here for them.
The new motel, being developed by RCC Global, is expected to provide much-needed accommodations for workers, visitors, and families.
It'll affect local businesses, the mining sector, the industry around here, families, as well as organizations like the Hockey Association, curling rinks. We're going to be able to start bringing back events for everybody.
A lack of accommodations has made it difficult to attract tournaments, festivals, and special events.
We do our annual beer fest, which is our main fundraiser, and there's no places for people to stay in the community at the moment.
We just recently had the return of minor hockey to our area, which was absolutely huge. And with that, now it's no longer we can have actual weekend tournaments. I could think about actually hosting a weekend festival.
The motel comes as other investments are also taking shape, including a new coffee shop, restaurant, fuel station, and a proposed childcare facility.
This represents confidence in our community, so that's what we've been working towards.
They're always open to discussions, and we truly appreciate all their support that we are getting in every sense.
Construction on the motel is expected to begin right away, starting with 22 rooms and possibly expanding if demand continues to grow. As part of the project, residents will have an opportunity to help name the new motel through a community-wide contest.
I find it very encouraging with our new council there. They seem to be bringing the town ahead with all these new investments going on.
The new motel is expected to open this year. The municipality now operates from a downtown location. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Matheson.
North Bay City Council has rejected a proposal to examine pay for the next mayor and councillors. The rejected motion has called for city staff to prepare a report examining wages, benefits, and other financial benefits for mayor and council positions across the north. The motion had been put forward by Councillor Gary Gardner, who argued the mayor's job is a full-time position and should be compensated as such. His motion was defeated in a 6-4 vote. Two organizations in North Bay are getting a special funding to boost security and enhanced safety measures. The provincial grant helps organizations and communities targeted by hate incidents. Out Loud North Bay, which works with 2S LGBTQ+ youth, is receiving $10,000 from the Anti-Hate Security and Prevention Grant. The money will support better protection for their volunteers and members. The Muslim Society of North Bay is also receiving a $5,000 grant. Cross-border travelers in the Sioux should expect some delays for the rest of the summer. Work started this week on a pair of projects that has reduced the International Bridge to a single lane. International Bridge officials are asking for patience and caution from those crossing in either direction. Preventative painting is being done on the American underside of the bridge with cosmetic pedestrian rail painting on the top side. The project began last summer and officials say they've learned from the first year. They're extending working hours Monday to Thursday each week to allow for free-flowing traffic Friday to Sunday.
Both of these paint projects are going to be contained within one work zone. So we can control traffic for both the projects with the one set of lights. Right now they're timed to, I think they're on 2 minutes, and then both ends are red 2 minutes to give traffic a chance to clear. So the wait isn't too bad.
Officials say the work is slated to finish for the year at the end of August, but will return again next year and possibly in 2028. Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Tony will have your full weather forecast. For now, a look at the current conditions, and we're seeing a little bit of everything across the region, but everyone pretty well looking at the same. Everything from 12 to 16. 12 on the island, that's the coolest spot at the moment. 16 in Barrie Sound, 15 in Timiskaming Shores, 13 in Timmins, 14 in Chapleau. We'll have full details coming up after the break.
Good evening, everyone. Now your main weather forecast. Let's start with our forecast radar and pockets of activity overnight continuing into tomorrow, especially Thursday morning and through Sault Ste. Marie, kind of jutting just southeast of Chapleau. And then Thursday afternoon, you see this thunderstorm right in through here. That's going to kind of like move in a southerly, kind of westerly direction, impacting Chapleau, north of Sault Ste. Marie. More showers expected across the broadcast region. But Friday evening, we start to get some clearing, which is rather nice. Now let's take a look at your 7-day weather forecast, starting with Sudbury Nickel Belt. Shower activity expected, 18 degrees tomorrow, then a 70% chance of rain on Friday. Temperature drops, ticks up on Saturday, a little more clearing. Same thing for Sunday, Dad's Day, 21 degrees on Monday, sun, cloud, and rain. Tuesday, well, 24, above seasonal should be 23 this time of year. For the Sioux, Algoma area, shower activity expected tomorrow. More rain on Friday and, of course, some clearings. You'll get sun, cloud, and shower activity. That's going to continue right into the weekend. On Father's Day, 19 degrees. Then next week, we start to get some clearing, and the weather's pretty nice. Back to the showers, though, on Wednesday. For Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, it starts to cool off a little bit. A risk of thunderstorms, but some sunny breaks too on the way. Temperature falls on Friday, starts to tick up a little bit on Saturday, Sunday, Father's Day, sun, cloud, and rain. And next week, it looks pretty good, especially Tuesday, 24 degrees. For Timiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, shower activity below seasonal temperatures. And then they start to go up on Father's Day. 22 degrees. However, it could get a little bit of soggy weather that day, and then on Monday, Tuesday, it looks pretty darn good. 24 degrees on Tuesday when it should be 23. And finally, folks, your 7-day weather forecast for North Bay, West Nipissing. Tomorrow, showers on the way once again. Temperature drops a little bit on Friday. It moves forward on Saturday, but again, a constant shower activity, 22 degrees on Father's Day. Monday, well, we start to get a little bit of clearing, and there's also a chance of shower activity. Tuesday and Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud coming in at 22 degrees when it should be 23 this time of year in North Bay. In Campbell, it's back over to you.
That's a lot of rain. Thanks, Tony. It's a big year for the Royal Canadian Legion all across the country as it celebrates its 100th anniversary. It's also the same milestone being celebrated by one of the branches in Greater Sudbury. CTV's Angela Gummel reports.
After 100 years, you need a different perspective.
We came up with the idea of seeing the branch from the water. Most members see it from the roadway driving up to the branch. There's an opportunity to see the branch from the lake.
The private charter of the William Ramsey cruise boat took members from the Legion in the community of Minnow Lake on a tour today that included a view of Branch 76, which overlooks Ramsey Lake. See us. This was one of 3 boat cruises planned for this summer as part of their celebratory events. Both the Royal Canadian Legion and Sudbury's Branch 76 in Minnow Lake are turning 100. To celebrate, there's been a free membership campaign across the country.
Dominion Command has put out a notice this year that anybody joining the Legion this year, it's free. So we have, I believe now, something like 125 new members just since the beginning of the year.
We're doing initiations on a monthly basis of 30 people. It's just exceptional, the outreach. And interestingly enough, of the people that have joined this year on the free centenary initiative, we have almost 80% of those people have signed up for next year as well.
The community service organization, which has more than 1,300 branches in Canada, supports veterans and their families. It's more than just the free membership that's attracting new members.
Every Legion branch is very community-based. We're here for the community, to serve the community, to look after the needs of veterans, of their families, people in need. We donate to initiatives all year long through our Poppy Fund.
The Royal Canadian Legion Branch 76 is also planning a gala on December 2nd, the actual anniversary date for this branch. Free memberships across the country last until the end of this year. Angela Gummel, CTV News, Sudbury.
The Dawson Island Preserve, about 70 kilometers east of Sault Ste. Marie, has doubled in size. The Central Algoma Land Trust announced the expansion today after a donation of more than 1,000 hectares of land. That includes 250 meters of shoreline along the St. Joseph's Channel. The land will be named the E.K. and Betty Wells Point, named for the original owners. The couple's 5 grandchildren donated the land to the trust. The local chapter of the Canadian Owners and Pilots Association, known as COPA 13, is in Sudbury, preparing for Discovering Aviation Day Saturday. The aim is to introduce youth to opportunities in aviation. CTV's Elena Everson reports.
It's an event giving young people the opportunity to discover what it feels like to take flight. Youth ages 8 to 18 can take a free introductory flight in single-engine Pipers and Cessnas, accompanied by licensed pilots.
So Discover Aviation Day is an event that COPA chapters have hosted across the country for many years. And with COPA Flight 13 being reestablished here in Sudbury, we thought it was time to bring this opportunity to our community and give youth a chance to experience the thrill of flight.
I know when I had my first flight when I was very young, it was very exciting, and this could help promote young people going into maybe being a pilot or AME, like an aircraft mechanic, or even possibly, air traffic controller.
Organizers say there will be aviation exhibits for all ages at the Air Bravo hangar located at the Sudbury Airport Saturday.
Throughout the day, visitors will be able to explore aircraft displays, meet pilots, and engage with aviation professionals.
There will also be a fundraising barbecue to support the costs of introductory flights for young people.
So it's open ages 8 through 18, and they can sign up by going to getwings.ca. We have a link there that they can then pre-register their youth for. Parents are required to be present for sign-in with their children. But yeah, you can sign up there, and we encourage everyone to pre-register as we have limited spots.
COPA 13 recently was revitalized in the Sudbury area after a hiatus. And the association says it hopes the day sparks interest in aviation, privately or professionally. Alana Everson, CTV News, Carson.
There's more to come on CTV News. For now, let's go to a live shot of the International Bridge tonight. This shot courtesy of the Bridge Authority, and that is facing Canada there. Again, travelers being told to expect delays due to construction. Stay with us. You're watching CTV Northern Ontario. Sault Ste. Marie pet owners will soon have a new opportunity to get their furry friend shots and boosters up to date. CTV's Eric Tashner has more from North Bay.
The mobile veterinary team at the Humane Society is preparing for a long trip to Sault Ste. Marie to vaccinate as many pets as possible.
The farther north you go in Ontario, it's similar to human medicine. The harder it is to get care. So that applies to humans, but it also applies to pets.
From June 23rd to the 25th, the mobile vaccine clinic team will be in the city to provide wellness checks and vaccine appointments for pets in need.
We've got everything that we need in terms of the doctor, in terms of the license, all that sort of stuff.
Cullen says despite North Bay having a smaller population, there are more veterinarians in the city when compared to the Soo.
What we hear is that some people there actually go over the border to Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, to get access to veterinary care there, just because of cost. But also access.
The Humane Society has partnered with other municipalities and First Nation reserves in the past to hold pet immunization clinics, including West Nipissing, Mattawa, and Doki's First Nation.
Based on the success of those, we decided to just kind of expand our reach a little bit.
Cats and dogs will be able to get their core vaccines like rabies, DA2PP, FVRCP, as well as Bordetella and any boosters. For pets just starting out their vaccination schedule, the cost is $155 per appointment. For pets with an existing vaccination program looking for annual shots, the cost is $145.
We encourage all pet families to find a primary veterinarian. This is really just more of a measure to alleviate some of the backlog.
Spots are limited. Owners looking to secure an appointment can book online ahead of time by visiting fixmypet.ca. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
A well-known YMCA summer camp located on Lake Huron is preserving its rich history. Officials with John Island Camp are thanking construction students and staff from Sudbury's LaSalle Secondary School for their help in completing the camp's new museum. Funding for the project was brought in from camp alumni towards the Gary Project. The space is dedicated to sharing the long and storied history of the island to continue teaching and inspiring generations of campers to come. Finally tonight, Doki's First Nation School held its 4th annual Indigenous Fashion Show today. But as CTV's Madison Merrier reports, it's about more than just eye-catching clothing.
Students from junior kindergarten to grade 4 walk the stage, proudly showing off who they are, with ribbon skirts, shirts, and ash baskets.
It feels like I'm part of the Anishinaabe group. I'm just proud to be to speak the language and all of that stuff, because then everybody can cheer for me.
This is so important that our students have the opportunity to feel so proud to be Anishinaabe, where they come from, and just represent their families, communities, and their school, and themselves.
Students worked on their clothing during culture and language classes from May until June, with the goal of learning more about their roots and who they are.
I think they leave here just feeling that sense of pride and saying, wow, I did this, and people celebrate me and I'm important, and they just leave here feeling so proud and fulfilled being, like I said, Anishinaabe, and that's what it's all about.
Also honored to represent the First Nation were 10 community members who joined the multi-generational show.
I brought the language here when I was a teacher many years ago, because it was taken away. So for me to see this today, I'm going to get emotional. It is unreal, like how much it makes me feel so happy.
This is just a reminder that it doesn't have to be just Indigenous Peoples Day. It could be every single day to celebrate who you are and represent yourself in a good way.
Organizers say the skirt and shirt are unique to the students, and every component tells a story unique to the individual who will cherish them for years. Madison Marier, CTV News, Doki's First Nation.
Looking good, Dokies. And a quick programming note, we will have live FIFA coverage tomorrow right here on CTV, impacting our 5 and 6 p.m. newscasts. You can still watch our 6 p.m. newscast online tomorrow or on Crave, and we'll be right back here at the news desk for 11:30. Go Canada, go. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Wednesday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca. Don't forget, you can also find us over on YouTube. Once you're there, make sure to hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.